It's happening again. The ocean calls. The last time we answered that call and ventured into the wild waters of the Pacific, we were overcome by strong southerlies, so ferocious that we had to turn back. We encountered just as much weather this time around too, but the wind, at least, was in the right direction. The Sea of Cortez spat us right out and pushed us once more into the arms of the Pacific. During our boisterous exit out of Mexico, we christened our outboard engine and gave him a set of eyes. Meet Turnip, guardian of the aft rail. We were prepared for big weather, but then the winds quieted, and we raised the Jenniker to catch what little air there was. Our autopilot died during that time, and there was no saving it. The motor was done. Oh, autopilot, you were there when we were learning to sail. You permitted us to cook meals and make sail changes easily. You brought us down the American West Coast in Baja California, and now you can rest. We removed it from the wheel and turned to the wind vane for aid. Neither of us knew how to work it. We didn't have a wheel attachment, and the idea we had to use it with the emergency tiller wasn't working. There wasn't enough pull. We decided to try something else. We dropped the paddle into the water, popped the air vane up, and hooked up all the lines. We brought the lines to the wheel using some hooks we had lying around. After balancing the sails and finding an optimal place for the lines to the wheel, as if by magic, Pinot started to sail itself. It was kind of amazing. Even after that, we did do a lot of hand steering, because wind vanes are difficult to master. But we're confident that we'll get it in time. When we crossed the equator, we celebrated with a glass of Porto, given to us by our friends from Esencia. We sipped it while watching a ship pass at our bow. We hadn't seen ships in weeks, and the first one we do see is at 0 latitude. Figures, right? On land, we can't stand routine living. But on a crossing, it was comforting. Most of our days went like this. I would wake up at 7 a.m. for my last 3-hour sleep and prepare oatmeal in the dark. I would eat out in the cockpit, watching the sunrise. Eventually, it would get too warm for a jacket. By 10 a.m., lonely and seriously decaffeinated, I would make my way down below to wake up the slumbering Davine. Davine would have cereal, while I prepared some coffee. While drinking coffee, we would hold a Pinot book club and talk about what we'd read during our night shifts. We must have gone through at least 25 books. After that, we would update our position with the Iridium and also check messages from family and friends. Come lunchtime, Davine would prepare something delicious. Most of the day, we were doing small projects, changing the sails, checking the boat for wear and loosened items. I would cook dinner, and then we would have tea while watching the sunset. Then the shifts would start at 8 p.m., with Davine going first. While we did have a routine, sometimes we couldn't stick to it, depending on the weather. Sometimes We'd wake up in the dark with a start, with the person on watch calling out our name. The weather had gone sour, and help was needed on deck. Sleeping in the boat during the night. Both of us experienced moments of complete confusion. We'd forget where we are, what we're doing. We'd be afraid. Who is sailing the boat right now? Am I outside? Did I fall asleep on watch? It wasn't rare for Devine to pop his head outside in the middle of the night to check up on me. In the doldrums, an area with light and variable winds, we had a lot of squalls. We tried to catch some of the rain to replenish our water tanks. The rain would always come down hard, but it would never last. The squalls often came on my watch. Rekka, keeper of the rain. With the squalls came big winds. Devin and I got really good at reefing early. That's only because we were very mindful of the clouds. The more you watch, and the longer you're out there, you start to understand what different clouds bring. It felt like having a superpower. The air would get thick. It would get warm and cold too sometimes. You would see ripples forming in the water a distance away. As the wind came, you would see a wall of rain drifting closer. Sometimes it would just miss us. Yes, Rekka gets to stay dry. After a few slow days in the doldrums, we finally could see the outline of Nuku Hiva in the distance. And then, almost as if to greet us, a killer whale surfaced right by the boat. A lone whale. It swam alongside us for a while, showing us the way. Neither of us thought we'd be that excited about seeing land. But seeing that lush green island coming closer and closer, we wanted to be on it. It looked so wild. We sailed into the bay and found a spot amongst sailboats, flying flags from all over the world. We are here. The rabbits made it back on land. We sailed about 2,800 nautical miles in 28 days. We are very proud of what we did. Even as we were out there, surrounded by nothing, we still couldn't believe we were doing this. Now, walking amongst greenery and fruit trees, we know it's real. It's like waking up after a long sleep. Everything is in focus. We will be resuming work while in French Polynesia. Expect footage of that in the next video. We will also resume capsules. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for keeping us afloat. Literally.
I could build a big machine, draw pictures for the walls, hang up all my fragile thoughts, displayed that you might see. A space, a drop, a cloth, the comfort of frailties in me. A space, a drop, a cloth, the comfort of frailties. Baby, why don't you see my seed? Make slow, get inside and pull on my seat. Get inside and build your castle into me. Baby, why don't you see my seed? The moon is dead but she still pulls on me. Get inside and pull on my seed. petty rhyme of worlds that I can try. They're in my sleep, my dreams, I speak them slow so you can read, and not stand back and stare and fear foolish devouring things, and not stand back and stare and fear foolish devouring. Baby, why don't you see my seed? Get inside and pull on my seed. Push a house out, throw iron on the fire. I can taste your vulnerable parts, slow so you will start to shut out what's destructed around you. Look at me, I'm a sea, I'm your sea. I'll shut out what's destructed around you. Look at me, I'm a
pumpkin is our last veggie.
Yes. Last fresh veggie.
Okay. We're 160 nautical miles away from Nuku Hiva, where hopefully we'll be able to get more fresh veggies because we ran out of everything way too quickly. We had way too many overfilled tortillas in the beginning. But it was so good.